everybody's trying to get out of here. 5:30. I might actually get date night tonight with my wife. But super excited to have this season here at home and the way that it did, to be a 6-1 campaign. Obviously the best, I think, since 2001, but also the best attendance, I believe, since 2009. So give a lot of credit to the fans. We talked about it all week, not just to give our seniors a great ending to the day, but also to give the fans. I know we've made a big push to make Memorial Stadium something special, and hopefully it's something to continue in the fall. So I would just say thank you to that. Thanks for the Thorpe board. Where are the Thorpe guys at? In the back, right? Appreciate you guys coming, taking a peek at Xavier, who's one of their finalists. Obviously got bowl representatives here today. But to have the seniors go off the field this way, and then kind of a unique scenario, right? So because we lost Dylan Rosiak as a captain, we made an executive decision. Mark Torsani suggested earlier in the week, and I made T-Raw Edwards a captain for today's game, and there's probably nobody that embodies what we want around here. A guy that transferred in, I say all the time, he came as a double negative. He's from Columbus and went to Northwestern and came in here and has just done an incredible job for us and what we do. Just a joy to be around. It was really fun to see him, and I can only imagine how much his family enjoyed tonight. So told him to enjoy it. A lot of family and friends in tonight, but we'll have to put this one behind us tomorrow and get ready for a Rutgers team. Really like the demeanor of this group. You know, it's a on the outside world looking in now, it's gonna be a 7-3 football team. It's got a lot in front of us. Never say never. I know that. I think I looked in today's in the middle of the week, kind of kept a personal inventory to myself. Right, there are a couple of 6-3 football teams ranked in the top 25. Right, and we've lost 3 games, 2 to guys that were, I think, 1-4 or 1-5, and I lost to a really good Minnesota team in a nail biter. Right, so. We're just telling our guys, just keep working on what's in front of you. Continue to take advantage of every opportunity you get. I thought it was also special today. Brett pointed out, you know, it was almost a year ago today that Kanena broke his leg at Iowa, and to see him go out there today, he's just kind of gradually gotten better every week. And I didn't see the final stats, but I know he got at least 1 sack, and thought there's a lot of really good pressures out there, a lot of good things defensively that made our guys close that win out. And kind of a small little thing, just to give Kirkland Michel that last snap of the victory formation at the end of the game. A guy that's absolutely done everything we could ask for in this program on a daily basis. Never really truly got the rewards of playing, so to see that today is pretty awesome. So also saw Owen Carney and Isaiah Adams, a couple former players. Jordan was here as well, Jordan Slaughter. So see some of our former alum come back, pretty awesome. With that, open up for some questions.
Coach, is it fair to say complimentary football is kind of a storyline in this one, with plays on special teams in the return game and some stops deep in their territory on defense?
Yeah, so for me, one of the goals that I gave them on Sunday, I give 3 goals for the team. The first was to prepare a plan, and the second was to practice the plan, and the third one today was to play the plan, right? And we talk about it, prepare our TSD edge, practice our TSD edge, and then play our TSD edge, and that's tough, smart, dependable edge. That's kind of what we are. It's the complementary fact of what we are. It showed up in a lot of games, not just today. It might be the storyline, but I think our guys really buy into playing off one another. I think we hit a little low offensively in the second half there, and our defense continued to show up, and obviously gave up the first drive, but to close that out, I think. And then Hank Beatty, just another guy, right? Just really, left the game 2 weeks ago with a dislocated finger that his bone came out, right? And he's playing with stitches and catching the ball. Just another great indication of who he is.
Bret, talk about third down, 2 for 15 for Michigan State. Obviously a big improvement for you guys. That speed package.
Yeah.
What went into that, and what did you guys see?
Yeah, so one of the things that I've kind of evolved in my career is just that, like, when you give guys roles, no matter how little it may be, right? Just to put a guy on a starting third down package, they just take a lot of pride in that moment, right? And when they're trying to earn a way to the field, but also third down. I kind of really learned this more in the NFL than when I was any other time in my career. Is those guys that are chasing back there are pretty good athletes, and this kid was really talented. So you could have the greatest design in the world, but when he takes off running, if you just have a guy that can't catch that guy, that's not great math, right? And we did some stuff that I thought was really smart of our coaches, Aaron Henry and Terrence Jamison, our defensive staff. Literally that first sack we gave, that was all coaching. Those guys put them in that position, learned how they could defeat the protection, and obviously came up with great results. So I give a lot of credit to our defense staff to make that happen. To hold that guy to 16 points is pretty awesome.
You rotated through the 3 running backs for most of the first half. What did you like about Josh maybe as the closer?
Josh is just, really the last 5-6 games. And then even Aiden Lawfrey, I thought we were kind of a hair away from breaking one of those today. Khalil does some nice stuff. Those 3 guys, I give all the credit in the world. Thad Ward is just it's just incredible for me to watch that work. He's not a guy that says a lot; he just does a lot. Every time I go by his office, he's always working head down, doing anything and everything he can to create an edge. It sounds like a little thing, but the Thursday film, I sneak in those guys' lockers and I watch the film that they're going to show their players, and his film is just incredibly detailed with a plan to get those three guys. The running back room, I think across the country, sometimes those might be the hardest to manage, right? And the way that Thad manages that room and the egos that have no ego in that room are pretty impressive. They all cheer for one another, and a really fun thing to be a part of.
I know you're thinking bigger.
You got a tie on today?
I was always wear a tie.
Yeah.
You clinched a winning season today, so
Okay.
and there's not been a whole lot of those. You had one a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
How important is that as you try to build this thing up?
You know, a great point, and to be honest, like I think you'd also probably notice if you go back and check the notes, right? Like when we became bowl eligible, I didn't say nothing about that.
Right.
I ain't gonna say nothing about a winning season, right? It's called the expectations, and what we've tried to do since we've come here is change the expectations of what people think of this place and what it is. Our expectation is try to go 1-0 every week. Obviously, we fell short of that 3 times this year, and that's incredibly disappointing, but I'm also happy that we found 7 opportunities to be victorious, right? So we got 2 great opportunities in front of us. I'm super excited to play with these guys. I think that, you know, they're going to go up and do what they have to do to prepare to play Rutgers. Whatever happens, happens, and I'll bet you whatever happens, they're going to play really hard against Northwestern. So I'm excited about it, but we're just continuing to grow and make a great impression. We had a lot of good recruits in here again today, and had a lot of great communication with the recruits the last couple of nights. They're in the playoff season, and those guys taking those. So I think this program just continues to grow. The attendance, the records, again, the way the norm, you should vote us in the top 25. You got to vote like everybody else votes their 6-3. Put our record against other people's record and see where we are. All right, and I think that's a really good thing.
Bret, what did you see out of Mac Percentage today, or maybe in the last 2 weeks, knowing his role was going to change just even a little bit with Miles' deal?
You know, Mac, you know, besides the great flowing hair, right, is just a really fun story. Just continues to be impressive in everything he does. I know for Coach Dish on special teams, he's like literally his poster child for those units. We put him everywhere we need to be, do a lot of special things with him. And I grabbed him on, I think Wednesday, I said, how many people are showing up when you first start? And he said a lot. In the town that he comes from, if a lot showed up, that means half the town's empty, right? So just a really good perspective on you know what it is. If he didn't come here and play football for us, I think he had a partial scholarship to Sauk Valley Community College to play baseball. So I think we're getting our money in return 10 times on that one. But again, really don't care who people are recruited by. We just care about results, and Mac Percentage is a result-driven guy.
Some of your thoughts on Pat Bryant? It seems like a storybook ending for him.
Yeah.
In his career here at Memorial
Did I say
Stadium.
that here? Did I get the stats? Yeah. Just you know, I every day we have NFL scouts come in. I have maybe 4 to 5 to 6 guys, right? And I literally, on my diligence, I think I'm the only head coach in the country that meets on every day with an NFL scout, and it's because those guys have given us so much. I want to make sure I give them what they have given us, right? And I tell those NFL scouts, like, wherever you have Pat Bryant rated, I would double down and bet him 1 round higher, right? Just because he's got an incredible catch radius and incredibly intelligent. He can play all 3 receiver positions. Volunteered to be on special teams at the beginning of the year. I made a decision because he's too valuable. I wouldn't play him on special teams as much as I wanted to. He's a big catch guy. He just makes things happen. That deep dig in the middle of the second when we needed it, that was huge on the 3rd and extra long. But that's just working for him. If you had any idea of how many things he does for things in our program that have nothing to do with him, right? We had a donor come through yesterday. It was a very significant donor that I believe gave $500,000 to the Smith Center, and their son walks through with a 13 Pat Bryant jersey on, and they said, hey, Kai was a big fan of Pat Bryant, so Pat Bryant literally stopped, gave him his glove, signed his jersey, and for me, for Josh, as the athletic director, we know the value in that for donors, right? That it's not just kids that represent us, it's the way they represent us, and Pat Bryant is a shooting star.
Change of guard at punter today. What happened there? Not
Nice story. Yeah. Breezy just has continued to be very impressive. I thought really the last 2 or 3 weeks we were going to try to give him a shot, and then he just really put himself in a position this week to be very, very consistent during the course of the week. We knew today was going to be a win game, and we knew that was going to be a big part. But I give Hugh credit too. Hugh didn't hang his head, went in there and did a nice pooch situation at the end of the game. So Breezy's very talented, very excited to have him, and I think put a nice little spin on the last couple games.
Brett, to get the production you did out of Gabe and Seth,
Yeah.
2 year stars, like, what's that mean for you guys as you close out the season?
You know, that outside backer room, again, we knew they were talented coming in. I give a lot of credit to those guys working individually to make themselves good. But Alec Bryant, I thought, did some stuff today. JoJo, who we added in. Unfortunately, Joe Barna and Demetrius Johns, those guys were repping with the twos. Both of them had an in-practice injury, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, that took them out. We knew they were going to be questionable today. So those guys handled a workload that was really, really good. You know, Gabe just continues to impress me, his awareness, his football intelligence. And then Seth, I had a feeling, you know, I knew Mom was here today, you know, so I knew there'd be a little mojo in that tank. It's fun to watch them hit the pay dirt. And then, you know, that first sack of the game, Gabe, we thought we had a beat on what they're doing, and we called it, and he hit an unbelievable pass rush move there to kind of gave it. The only thing I would give him is I would have stripped the ball out instead of the sack, because that ball is worth more than the sack. But really, really good growth by those guys.
You mentioned offense.
One more after
the lull in the second half. How much of that was maybe protection driven? Because Luke seemed to be
You know, I don't know. I know that we didn't score any points, and we got some 3 and outs, but I'm not going to dwell on the negative. I'm going to be on the positive. Right? I'll evaluate that film tomorrow. I think one of the things that was great is we scored a lot of points today. Made the most of our opportunities and made it a game at the end. It was 3 scores. It really was never a contest.
Coach,
Last one here.
Luke really calm, cool, and collected today, and he got the ball out quickly, and he looked really confident. So, what did you like seeing from him today?
You know, Luke's continued to be the guy we see at practice. Just really, really diligent. One of my favorite parts of the week is on Fridays we meet and Kirkland and D. Leary give reports on Wednesday, and then on Friday we meet on end of game, and I'm in there as a head coach, and I always say volume reflects confidence, and to hear Luke talk about the end of game scenarios he watches and learns and tells us what the offense or what the defense is going to do, and then to see it show up out on the field. I think today was one of those great examples of what you see during the course of the week is what you get during the game, and to see his mom and dad after the game see a smile on their face and put themselves in a position to know how special their son is and what he can have in front of us. Obviously, Pat Bryant just set a record. Well, those all things came about because of Luke Altmaier throwing it, right? So really excited about Luke but where Luke can go.